Hey guys, MugenLord here, and I'm back again with another discussion video. And today we're going to continue on with Darksiders 3. Now, after I had my last discussion video, and I appreciate all the feedback and everyone getting involved with this discussion, after I uploaded the video, there was some pre-alpha gameplay footage that was on the web that IGN covered and a couple other sites had covered that I have somehow missed out on. So, a couple of my subscribers has inboxed me with this, and I thought that it would be nice for us to look at it together, and I give my opinion on it, and I want to ask you guys what's your opinion on it after everything is said and done. Now, this is the thing. This video is pretty much a pre-alpha of Darksiders 3, meaning that there could be some gameplay changes at the end, at the final product. So some of these things that we see right here may not be at the final product. So I'm not going to be too harsh on what I see, but at the same time, some of these things could make it at the end, at the final product, whether it's negative or positive. So just wanted you guys to keep that in mind. So let's dig right into it, and I may pause here and there just to give my opinions on things. So let us start. Now, what I do like is how it still has that that colorfulness and cartoony type of look to it, as far as the textures and the character models itself. So I do appreciate that, and you can tell that it's pre-alpha just by looking at the life bars and everything. So it's still some work that needs to be done on it. Okay, that makes sense. She has a whip. Okay, so another thing that I do notice that's a little bit different from the original Darksiders game is the camera view. Now, I noticed that the camera view is locked on behind the character's back or behind the character's shoulders. Now, I hope this won't be a thing when it comes to the combat, because what I like about the camera and Darksiders is how open and freely you can turn the camera around. As freely you can zoom in, zoom out, and you can see what's around the character and everything. But I don't like this locked position. I'm telling you that right now. I hope that this doesn't stay in the game.
Was she back out there?
Okay. It's gorgeous, this game. I do like the visuals though. And for some reason, this seemed more than an alpha to me. This game, the visuals looks too crisp for this to be an alpha. This looked more like beta to me for some reason. Well, who knows? I could be wrong. Her face doesn't look too bad. I know there's some people that don't really like her design as far as her face is concerned, but it don't look bad at all. Okay. Oh, not bad. Okay, let me pause this for one quick second. Now, this is what I was talking about as far as the camera is concerned. The camera is too up close, locked behind her back. So as you've seen, let me just go back just for a quick second, if I can catch this just at the right time. Let me see if this is the part. Now, did you see this? Now, that's the thing. If I'm able to freely move my camera angle around to see what's going on that's around me, I wouldn't have had like it, because right now, just how that enemy just popped up behind her, if I was playing a game, that monster would have caught my ass, because I wouldn't be able to see it because of how the camera angle is locked behind, and locked in place behind the character. And that's the only thing that I'm afraid of. And hopefully this doesn't make it into the final game, because when you play a game like this, you want to be able to circle your camera around and see everything that's around you. Because if it's locked in a position like this, I'm only locked towards one enemy, and I don't know what's coming behind me, what's coming on my side, because that's that's not good at all. And I can see it right now. This camera is going to be a pain in the ass just by looking at this. And another thing too, Fury, she has a whip. Now, as far as I'm concerned, when you have a whip, when you swing the whip around, the whip should cover a wider area, meaning that if there's multiple enemies on the screen or if there's multiple enemies around me, there should at least be an attack, or her standard attack should be her able to swing when she swing her blade around. Excuse me. When she swing her whip around, it should be able to hit everybody or hit a certain amount of multiple enemies at one time. You know, in the position that she's in. It seemed like when she's using her whip, it's only focused on one enemy. It's just straightforward and it's not whipped around. Because what I liked about, especially in Darksiders 1, when you have with War, when you're surrounded by a bunch of enemies, most of War attacks, most of his strikes are wide swing strikes. So when he swings, whatever enemies are in the vicinity, you hit in a bunch of them more than one enemies at a time, more than one enemy at a time. Excuse me about that. So let's continue here. That's kind of similar to War's flip with the with his blade. Okay. Just to remind you, this is pre-alpha, so. I love the lighting too. The lighting is really good. I like how her hair flows as well. Okay. Like an underground sewer type of environment. I do like the water effect too, with the light glaring onto the water. Another thing, I don't know if it's just me. Also, when she swings her whip and it makes contact with the enemy, it don't feel like it has that oomph when it connects with the enemy compared to Death, and compared to when War use their weapons when they hit the enemy. You can actually feel that impact. If you feel like you hurting it, you just like you tearing into your enemies. It seemed like with Fury is when she's swinging the whip, it doesn't feel like it's really, you know, have that oomph to it when she attack, and it feels, and the animation look kind of stiff too with the whip. It doesn't seem as fluid as what I think a whip should feel like, or how it should look when you swing one. I wonder if she's going to have any type of grab command moves with the whip as well. But she can wrap the enemy around with her whip. That'd be awesome. Okay. See, that camera again. I don't like that camera. Don't like that camera at all. See, it's harder to aim. And when you have a camera that's like that, especially with a game with that's supposed to be intense as far as gameplay is concerned, it requires a lot of skilled maneuvering around and everything. Having the lock position behind the character is just, to me, it's not a good idea. and it looks like it's going to be hard to judge, you know, the distance between your enemy and when you spacing your attacks with the whip because of the camera angle. Yeah, it's going to be hard to tell how close you are. I wonder if this character has any other attacks in this pre-alpha build. So far, it's just the same type of combo string. Now, I also heard that Fury also has 2 blades on her sides as well. I think it's on her back. I wonder if will the player use those two blades? Oh, all right, that's different. I'd say it again. I love the lighting. I love the lighting in this especially in this subway. I'm not gonna like that. I can already see the issue with the combat as far as the camera is concerned. I can just see it already. Hopefully this won't be final as far as that's concerned. Now, another thing that I'm hoping for. Oh, okay, that's different. Another thing I'm hoping for, since we probably won't be able to tell in this pre-alpha build, hopefully some of the enemies will have different type of patterns. You know, it's not just straightforward them just constantly approaching you, attacking you. I wonder if these enemies are going to actually have some type of strategy or some good AI that have you think about how you approach them and everything, so the combat won't get repetitive and stale. Okay, almost fell off there. Alright, we have Sloth, one of the 7 deadly sins here. So, okay. That was another thing I was wondering. I was wondering like how the bosses are going to be. Now, when it comes to Darksiders, a thing that captured me about Darksiders in its gameplay and just its atmosphere and stuff, 1, it reminds me of Zelda, and 2, it reminds me of God of War as far as combat is concerned, and 3, you may not agree with me, but Darksiders also has like a Legacy of Kain type of feel to it as well. And the thing what I liked about Darksiders and Zelda and even God of War, I love their bosses. Their bosses were always epic, and especially when it came to Zelda and Legacy of Kain, their bosses always took some thinking. It was a lot of thinking involved because some of the bosses felt like puzzles. You had to figure out and find their weakness and everything. So I wonder in Darksiders 3 will these bosses have some thinking that's required in order to be able to take them down. So that's what I'm wondering as well with this. That's why I'm wondering, a boss like this, just using her whip is not good enough. That's why I'm wondering, does she have any other type of move sets, especially for this demo, to be able to fight a boss like this, because most of her moves aren't wide range to hit all enemies in one area and everything. So oh, get your health. Okay. Right. Okay. Well, that was a poor demonstration right there. I mean, come on. I mean, you attack the enemies, you have to pull back. Attack the enemies, pull back to make sure that Sloth doesn't hit you. Alright, get out of there. Alright, there we go. Get back. That's another smart move too. Just keep running around so the range of his attack won't get you. Alright, let's see what's going to happen now. Because that was pretty simple. Ah, okay. I'm not liking that camera, man. I'm not liking that camera at all. Alright. Yep, remind me of War's attack. Oh, okay. Alright, about time. Okay, that's what I wanted to see. Some different type of attacks. Nice, not bad. Now I wonder if in this game will, you know, if you attack different limbs, will that also drain more of the boss's health, like hitting the tail part of the enemy of Sloth? Will that take more damage compared to attacking Sloth from the front? I wonder will that play, you know, I guess an intricate role or important part in certain boss fights or in boss fights in general. Whoa. Oh, okay. You're going to die again. Okay. Well, missed that opportunity. Okay. Well, that's the end of that. Okay, so let me just give you my overall, you know, I guess you say impression of this. All right, for starters, I love the visuals. I love how colorful the environments are. It's like I said, it's reminiscent of the last two Darksiders. Also, as far as this being alpha, as far as I'm concerned, this seems too good to be an alpha, and this looked more like beta to me. But hey, I could be wrong. The things that I'm concerned about, because like I said, the positive to me right now is the visuals. The visuals are really good. Now, as far as, you know, the negatives concerned, you know, there's quite a few. One, I don't like the camera. The camera is just, it's too up close behind the Fury's back, and I don't like that. Especially if you look at Darksiders 1 and 2, especially when you're fighting a bunch of enemies at one time that's constantly approaching you. I liked in the other Darksiders and Darksiders that I'm able to rotate the camera around, and I'm able to take wide swings with you know, with war and with death, take wide swings to attack multiple enemies at one time, since they're all coming at me at one time. If you look at this footage, Fury, when she swings her whip, most of her attacks is just locked onto and fixed on one enemy, and it's just swinging at one enemy. Now, when you swing in a whip, I just can't see it just being, you know, focused on one target or one object. I can see most of her attacks should be wide range attacks, especially if she has a bunch of enemies coming towards her. Now, what I'm afraid of, I hope they don't scale back as far as enemy encounters, meaning that they have you approach, you know, a certain amount of enemies at, you know, at a time, which means it'll allow more one-on-one combat, which I don't think would be a good approach for Darksiders. It wouldn't be a good approach at all to me if they do it like that. Every time you run into an enemy, it's more like one-on-one approach, opposed to you have a bunch of enemies attacking you at one time. Because, like I said, that camera angle is just not good. And then on top of that, her attacks only centered on one enemy, composed to hitting everything wide range. Because of that camera angle, I had no idea that enemy was right on the side of her, and that enemy came swinging through on the screen. You did not see that enemy coming at all. So that's the thing that kind of got me nervous. And then when I noticed when she was fighting Sloth, is the same thing again. Is that camera angle? That camera angle, I think, is going to be the death of a lot of players, and I can see that thing being a hindrance and being a bother. So, like I said, this is pre-alpha. Everything is not set in stone. Things could change and stuff. But I can say one thing: this does have me a little bit worried in some regards, as far as the camera angle and as far as the gameplay. Even though this is pre-alpha, I wish there was more to show, because, like I said, if you want to display something, which is a lot of people's hype for this game, if you want to display something, they display something a little bit ahead and farther down the line, where you actually show off some of the abilities that Fury have, some of the special attacks that Fury have. But showing something where she just got a few combos and stuff like that, no variety and everything, it will kind of garnish the hype a little bit, or people who never heard of Darksiders and see something like this and be like, this looks okay, it doesn't really look that impressive, look kind of boring and stuff like that. So, but this is pre-alpha, things are, likely probably going to change, but they need to fix certain things before the final product, because that camera, I'm not liking that camera at all. But that wraps everything up. That's my opinion. What do you guys think about the pre-alpha? Do you guys even think that this is pre-alpha? Do you think this is beta, but they're telling us it's pre-alpha? So what do you think about the gameplay so far? What do you think about the visual effects of this game? What part of Darksiders 3 are you looking forward to in terms of story and where the story may be leading and everything? This is MugenLord, and if you have any topics you'd like for me to discuss, make sure you leave that in the comment section below. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button, and make sure you subscribe. This is MugenLord, and I'm signing off.